According to the LA Times article, gun control isn't the answer. Over 260 million guns exist in the US alone. Now there are some people that would like to see that number greatly diminished, even down to zero. I believe the firearm is essential to the Midwestern culture and would have noticeable repercussions if it were ever taken away. So that's why I believe federal gun control should not be allowed. In my speech, I will discuss gun control in relation to crime rate, the constitutional credibility of gun control, and the role of the gun in the Midwestern culture. First of all, I would like to discuss the crime rate. I believe gun control would do very little to lower the crime rate, because criminals would be able to obtain guns by less than legal means, regardless of gun control. Even now, many guns used in criminal actions are borrowed from someone else or stolen. However, firearms can be used for good to help combat crime. Many guns purchased legally today are used in self-defense. Taking these away could actually raise the crime rate. There are nearly 2 million cases of self-defense using firearms each year. So this is why I believe guns can actually be used for more good than they can be used for harm. Secondly, I believe there's no constitutional basis for federal gun control. The Constitution actually gives the people the express right to carry guns. The second clause of the Second Amendment reads, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." This means exactly what it says, that the people have the right to bear arms and the government cannot take that right away. Supporters of gun control claim that this doesn't give the people the right, but it's referring to the state and their right to a militia. However, I believe the wording supports the idea of individual rights. In reference to the idea that the people refers to the states, Sanford Levinson debates in his article, The Embarrassing Second Amendment, that it is difficult to know how one might plausibly read the Fourth Amendment as anything other than a protection of individual rights. It would approach the frivolous to read the Assembly and Petition Clause of the First Amendment as referring only to the right of state legislatures to meet and pass a remonstrance directed to Congress or the President against some governmental act. So even since 1776, when the framers decided to word it this way, firearms have been a big part of the American culture. And even more than the American culture, the Midwestern culture. From the very beginning of our country, the Midwesterners have been using firearms for defense as well as hunting. That's what leads to the fact that more Midwesterners own guns than anybody on either coast. 51% of Midwesterners have guns in their household, compared to 46% nationally, and only 31% on the East Coast and 36% on the West Coast. This contributes to the fact that in 2012, there were 414,479 hunting licenses sold in South Dakota. This is why I believe that the Midwest is very reliant on guns, and that federal gun control is unwanted and unconstitutional. So in review, I believe that gun control would do very little to lower crime rate, that there is no constitutional basis for federal gun control, and that firearms are a big part of Midwestern culture. So just as a little thought, I would like to ask you, just like it's not the car that kills someone, but the drunk driver behind the wheel, it's not the gun that causes shooting accidents, but the incompetency of the people that use it. So why is it that when there's a drunk driving accident, people blame the driver, but when there's a shooting accident, people blame the gun?